What it do, y'all, and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I am here to bring you guys a 2 looks video where I'm featuring a couple of different products that I picked up from Kaledios. More so recently, they came out with a something of the night, creature of the night, I believe, collection where they featured 2 different kind of purpley quads and maybe some other things. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I decided I was going to pick up one of those quads, another quad from their collection last year, and a couple other products as well. So that's pretty much going to be the video. This is going to be in a similar kind of makeup to my typical 3 looks 1 palettes. So I will be going into product details in just a second. I will try to do the swatches kind of within the video when I show you guys the products so that it's a little bit more embedded that way. And I will be, like I said, be doing 2 different looks, one day, one the other, featuring both palettes and featuring both lip products, and then everything else that I can kind of get on my eyes and my face. So I hope you guys are interested, and this is look number 2. In the event that you're interested, check out down below for timestamps in case there's one particular section that you are more interested in. And yeah, let's just get into the video. Alrighty guys, so how we're going to do this is I'm going to break down the product. Now when breaking down these products, I'm going to try to do my absolute best, giving as much information as I can based on the cardboard packaging that I have in person. If there is something that I don't know, I will of course have it on the screen, so don't forget to check that out, and let's just get into it. So one of the more new products that Kaledios decided to come out with in this like neat night creature collection were these eyeliners. Now these have a 6-month shelf life. There are 0.2 grams or 0.007 ounces of product. They are made in the PRC. They are cruelty free and vegan. They're of course distributed through Shanghai, which is where Kaledios makeup is located. These 3 liners are really interesting. I think that they all kind of bring a unique thing to my particular collection. I don't really have multi-chrome liners in this format, and so I thought it would be really cool to bring these into my collection. I will hopefully be having some overlay or something right now so you guys can really see the nice shifts of them. I have the 3 different shades. One is called Limelight. That is the one that's like a green to blue shift. Then we have Sea Sparkle, which is the mainly like blue to icy shift. And then lastly we have Solaris, which has a bit of green and a bit of red in there as well. So I'm hopeful that you guys can see all of that information and how Kaledios describes this formula. It is featuring a 1 swipe glide of silky voluminous strokes across the radiant color shifting spectrum. The Kaledios Epiphany Glow Melt On Eyeliner is a rousing spectacle for the senses and your one-way ticket to the Galapagos of multi-chromatic color. So that is the liners. Next, I decided to pick up 2 of the cloud paints or the lip clays, and I picked up, like I said, 2 different formulas. I believe they came out in 2 different collections. The lighter of the 2 is Skin Ship and the other one is Cloud Smoke. Both of these products have an 18-month shelf life. They have 2.4 grams or 0.08 ounces. They are both cruelty free and vegan products. They are made in the PRC and then they are distributed through Shanghai, once again, which is where Kaledios is located. And Kaledios' description of these 2 products says that they are both a supreme comfort, ultra matte, super lightweight formulation. And once again, that is the lip clay formula. Then I decided to pick up another one of their highlighters. I specifically picked up Ray Rider this time, and this product has 2.2 grams of product or 10.08 ounces. This has a 12-month shelf life, and I don't see any indication that this particular product is vegan or cruelty free. So I am going to assume that it's not, but the writing on this particular packaging is very, very hard to read. So yeah, and unfortunately because of that, I can't read the actual description that they have, because I literally can't read the packaging. So I do know that this, of course, as well, is created in the PRC and distributed through Shanghai, because that's where Kaledios is from. Then I also got one of their blushes. I particularly picked up the Mono blush in Sunburnt. This one has a 12-month shelf life, 5 grams of product, and 0.18 ounces of product. This is cruelty-free and a vegan product, and this is of course made in Shanghai, made in the PRC and distributed through Shanghai. Kaledios describes this as a silken feather light pressed powder blush, delicately crafted for blendable, long-lasting coverage, exceptionally smooth and fine. This blush delivers a soft, matte flush, sweet beyond imagination. So that is the mono blushes that I picked up from Kaledios. And then lastly, but certainly not least, I picked up 2 of the quads from the 2 collections that Kaledios has released that has quads in them. Both of these quads have a 12-month shelf life. Both of these quads have 4.8 grams or 0.17 ounces. They are both considered pressed pigment palettes, although they are both cruelty-free and vegan. Both are made in the PRC and distributed from China. They both have the same description, so let's read it. It says a high pigment, high drama quad palette featuring 4 tantalizing shades immortalized in a remarkable luxe pigment-free formula. Ranging from natural mattes to crystallized shimmers, these polished shadows are in a league of their own. And just looking very, very quickly, there is mica and talc in the formula for these eyeshadow quads, in case that is something that you cannot have. But yeah, that's it. Those are the swatches, those are the descriptions. I also showed you guys some imaging of the packaging and the products. I hope all of that information was helpful, and with that said, let's just go ahead and get into the 2 looks, and I will demonstrate all of these products, or as much as I can, on my face. Actually, no. So one more product that I want to go ahead and talk to you guys about is actually the eyeshadow primer. Now, I received this because I spent so much money on their website during the launch, and this product has a 6-month shelf life. There are 12 grams of product or 0.4 ounces of product in here. It is cruelty-free and a vegan product. It is made in the PRC and distributed from Shanghai. And there is no description on this one. It just says that it's the Kaledios Tone Activator Eye Primer. And I do find, in case you are wondering, that this has a more light beige slight tint on my skin when I put it on my eyes. So yeah, that's all I got for this part of the video. I hope that it was really helpful to hear the product descriptions, the quantity, the expiration date, all of that jazz. I also hope the swatches were very helpful during this period of time, and I hope putting that all together was really going to make this video shorter, because I don't want this to be too long. But yeah, anyways, we're going to go ahead and jump into the 2 looks. And of course, like I said, if you want to jump around, just feel free to look at the timestamps down below. Okay guys, so I am extremely excited. This ended up taking first place for filming today because this package arrived today and I was not expecting it. So I just had to sit down and film with it, which is perfect day for this to happen because I am in a celebratory mood. So what we're gonna do, I would have already shown you guys all the swatches, give you guys product details, all of that. So we are just gonna dive right on into putting these products on my face. First, I wanna go ahead and start off with the blush. Now, I only picked up one blush. Previously, I'd been kind of hemming and hawing over a couple of different shades, but this is the only one that I ended up pulling the trigger on, and this is the shade Sunburnt. Now, this came out with their collection last year, I want to say, and I just really was so intrigued. I decided to go ahead and take a go ahead and pick it up. If you're wondering, I do have on my artificial lighting today. Really, the only reason I have it like that today is because it has been overcast all day, and I want to make sure you guys get somewhat true to color, my complexion, the products, all of that. So when it comes to blush, I use a variety of different shape brushes, but today I'm just going to use this one. This happens to be the Chicoto cheek brush, and like I said, the blush name is Sunbeam, right? Sunbeam, Sunburst, Sunburnt. So I'm just going to go ahead and really put a lot of product on that area, and I'm going to kind of stipple / push the shade into my cheeks. Okay, I don't know how it's coming off on camera. In my little viewfinder, it looks to me like it's coming off very chalky. In person, there's just a very subtle, and I do mean subtle, orangey hint in that area. I'm actually not hating it. I thought it was going to be a lot worse in person. I thought it was going to be chalky, hot, toddy mess, but this was the only shade that I was even somewhat remotely interested in picking up for myself. And so yeah, I think this could definitely be a product that somebody picks up if Kaledios is like the only, if not main brand that they shop from, and if they want just kind of a nice subtle hint of a light orange. If you're my complexion and you want more of a deeper orange, I definitely wouldn't say go for this, but first impressions wise, I like it. Love, maybe not so much, but I was too intrigued not to pick it up, so I picked it up. Then for the only highlighter that I picked up, it was the Ray Ryder highlighter. Previously, when I picked up highlighters from them, they were more of that pinkier tone, whereas this one is dubbed to be more of their neutral. So I decided to go ahead and pick this one up and test her out. Once again, I have a variety of different types of brushes that I use. This one just happens to be the Clionadh Cosmetics and Emily Violet Marie blush or highlighter brush in there, that set for their face, for the brushes, their face. And okay, so this is definitely lighter than my complexion, that without a doubt. And I do see a bit of a cast. It might just have been my application because I low-key kind of went in without knowing, but what I will say is in person, it doesn't look bad. It does not look bad, but it's definitely apparent. I think it's a little bit too icy. I wish there was just a hint more gold in this shade for me. But if you have a lighter complexion, I think it'll work. I think it rocks in the nose highlighter range, which probably means that I'm not going to absolutely love this on the cheekbones. But I wanted to take the chance because I've been hearing people raving about this shade as more of a neutral shade on their skin tones, and I definitely think it is. It's definitely a neutral shade, but if you don't have what I would consider kind of a cooler undertone, I would not recommend this. Once again, this is first impressions. Give a little bit. I'm going to let this kind of, both of these shades really meld with my skin and see how they work and how they don't work. I will say the blush, kind of don't see it anymore. I kind of don't see the blush at all anymore. So yeah, I don't know how I'm feeling about these products, but we're going to give them some time to really adjust with my skin tone, and we'll go from there. While we're still zoomed out, I also want to go ahead and throw on my lip product. I did pick up two because I was intrigued by two of them. I'm pretty sure I already did swatches, but I'll do them again. The first one I'm going to swatch is in the shade Skin Ship. And as you can see, it's like a brownie shade. I think on camera you actually can't see it compared to my skin because I think it just blends right in, but that's the shade right there. And then the other one is Cold Smoke, and I believe this one just has a cooler undertone and darker, and it's brown. So that's Cold Smoke, and now you guys should just be able to see the Skin Ship. They're both brown, so I'm happy about that. I low-key kind of want to see what Skin Ship actually looks like on my lips because it's so like completely my skin tone on my hand. So I'm gonna do that. I definitely will wear the Cold Smoke, but I really want to try this. As for my lip liner, I'm going to use my Aaliyah lip liner with MAC, and I'm just going to line my lips on the very outside, and I'm going to blend that into this shade. So yeah, I'll speed up that process because I don't want you guys to be like watching me struggle to line my lips for a long period of time. Y'all, this was a formula I'm very so far happy I picked up. It feels like a nice creamy, like lip cream moussey type formula, and it really does give a beautiful kind of blotted lip look, especially with that lip liner, which sometimes can be a bit harsh. I'm really liking this so far. Really liking that. Good at things there. I'm gonna come in really quickly. I am gonna prime my eyes because I made such a big order. Kaledios actually sent their eyeshadow primer, so I am gonna go ahead and use that today in my look, and so I can try it. I do hear a lot of people raving about the primer. I just never could justify picking it up, and now I'm glad I didn't because now I got it for free. So let me just go ahead and prime my eyes really quickly, and then I will zoom in so that you guys can see me do the eye look. And I also do have liners, as you guys saw earlier, so we're going to play with those as well. Okay, so as you guys saw in the intro, I bought two different palettes, one from this latest release and then the other from the older release. I'm going to torture you guys, and I am going to play with the one from the old release today, and then tomorrow I will come back and do another look with the latest release. And of course I will have timestamps down below, but this is the one that I picked up. This is the Cold Brew Quad, and I just really wanted to play with this. I felt like this would just be a very perfect everyday neutral color scheme, so I'm gonna play with it and we're gonna see how it goes. So I'm gonna take a Wayne Goss 19 and I'm gonna go into this darkest brown shade, and this is going to be my outer V area. And first impression, do you see that color? It is dark and beautiful. Oh my goodness. So I'm definitely happy that there's some nice depth and pigmentation with this shade, which I've never had a problem with their pigmentation or their blendability or anything, but I have had some issues with shadows being deep enough for me to actually get any use out of them, and very happy to see that this is not going to be a similar occurrence, at least with this palette. I really like that. I do. Okay, next what I want to do is pull this kind of mid-tone brown in the quad. Once again, I had wiped off the brush. I'm just going to go ahead and use the same exact brush, and I'm just going to fluff that in like this inner lid area, very similar to the neutral look that I just posted yesterday. Actually, I'm kind of going to try and create a very similar look, but just with obviously this quad. Now I'm not sure if enough of that brown came off because that looks quite deep, but also does look lighter, so maybe that's just how it comes off on my skin tone. I'm not mad, just did not expect it to be that dark. So then I'm going to take a fluffy kind of lid-ish brush, and I'm going to go into that very light shade, and I'm going to bring just some lightness under my brows just to kind of lift that area. And also, like I said, just to bring some lightness overall in this look, because I feel like it went dark very quickly. And then last, but of course certainly not least, I'm going to take a flat shader brush. This happens to be the 242 synthetic from MAC, and I'm going to go into the one shimmer in this palette, And I'm gonna see if this picks it up. If not, I definitely can reach for my finger, but I just figured since I cleaned off the brush, I might as well try and use it. And good googly moogly. Okay. So that's the look. Very simple, very clean. I will say that light shade, I was not expecting it to be so pretty, if we're being really honest, but I love it. I think it really brings a beautiful kind of vibe to this very natural overall base look. So what I'm gonna do is hop off camera. I'm gonna put on my liner, mascara, and some lashes, and I'll come back to show you guys the finished look. So I looked to the side and I realized that I had 3 liners that I haven't used, so I do definitely want to use them. So let's see if why is the name so small? Okay, so this is Sea Sparkle, and it is that metallic blue that I just swatched. Okay, let's try another one. The other one is, I think that says Limelight. That's beautiful. And then the last one that I picked up is in the shade Solaris. We have Solaris, Limelight, and Sea Sparkle. And I'm actually going to go ahead and throw a liner on top of this makeup look. And I think, so I'm actually going to throw a liner right on top of this eye look, and I think I'm going to go ahead and go for Solaris. I think it would be interesting to add a little bit more variety, maybe pull out that blush that should be on my cheek still. So let me throw this on my lid. I don't really know how I'm going to use it. I don't really use pencil liners like this for like a winged look, but I'm feeling like this should be a wing. So I'm gonna attempt okay, so I think I put something on there. I don't know if it's the best wing. I don't know if it's the worst wing. But what I will say is that it definitely glided over my eyelid really nicely. It's just because this isn't like pointed and I'm not kind of stretching my eye that I'm not getting the most accurate kind of wing situation that I'm used to. So I'm actually going to just go off camera. I'm going to really perfect this side and also do this on the other side. And I'm going to just put a normal black liner in my waterline, my tight line. And like I said, I'm going to do mascara and lashes. So give me 1 second and I'll be right back. Alrighty guys, so let me come in close so you guys can see the look, and then we'll zoom out so I can talk about the look. Okay, so overall, I actually like a lot of the things that I picked up. There's some positives and some negatives. This is strictly first impressions today though, so I might learn how to kind of maybe apply these products in a slightly better way tomorrow. But I just wanted you guys to see the full look in its glory. And if you're wondering, I am still wearing those same MAC lashes, but I will have everything that is on my face down below in the description box. And I will of course link Kaledios' website as well. But with that said, I don't want this to be too long of a video, so let's hop into look and day number 2, and then at the very end I will kind of give you my current thoughts. I will be giving a roundup of all of these products and a lot more later on, probably next month, so stay tuned for that. So yeah, let's get into the next look. Alrighty guys, so I completely spaced to turn my mic on. This is a new mic, so I believe this is the only clip that this will be happening in this video, but I'm just gonna dive right on in. At this point, I'm just describing the fact that I put on the other lip product, which is in Cloud Smoke. I also did apply the very exact same blush, and I applied my highlighter, all the products that I showcased earlier. Now I did use different brushes for the application of my blush and highlighter today, and I think those yielded a better result, but I believe I'll be talking about those later, so I'm not going to dive too quickly. Like I said, I'm also going to be using the more new quad today, and this is the more muted purple quad, was the one that I decided to pick up. And if you're interested, let's just dive on in. So to get started, I'm actually going to go ahead and dive into the darkest shade again. I am going to be doing a structure more similar to kind of my quote unquote typical eye looks. So you will be getting a different technique in this application. And what I am doing is I am applying this to my outer V and slightly in my crease. I'm just really trying to put that product down, and then I will be blending it out with a lighter tone shade from this quad in just a second. So now what I'm going to do is take a bigger, fluffier blending brush, and I'm going to go into the second lightest, or kind of the middle color in this quad when it comes to the mattes, and I'm actually just going to apply that as my true transition shade, just to blend out that deeper purple. And as you can see, I found that it actually applied quite deep on my skin tone. I didn't see a huge difference, which I was expecting to really see a lighter blending out shade. And I believe I'm going to touch on that in the conclusion of my current thoughts when it comes to these quads. Now what I'm going to do is take the lightest matte shade, and I'm taking like a fluffy paddle brush, and I'm just going to use that right under my brow bone highlight, very similar to what I did yesterday. I just kind of really like that effect. It really helps to elevate your brow and kind of clean up your crease work in case you bring it up too high in your preference. Then I'm going to take a very flat kind of shader brush, and I am going to go into the one shimmer metallic foily beautiful shade in this quad, and that's going to go all over my lid, in my inner corner, and slightly at the front of my lower lash line. Once that's done, all I'm going to be doing is adding a liner. I'm going to be using the sparkle liner, Sea Sparkle, which is the blue in this look. Then I'm going to hop off camera, put on my black liner, mascara, and lashes. Alright guys, so let me come in to show you guys the finished look. Alrighty guys, so quite a few things that I tested out with these 2 days of products. So I'm going to try my best to kind of run through them and give you guys my current thoughts. Like I said, this is not going to be a final thoughts, final impressions. I will be coming back to kind of talk about these products in a later date. So let's start off with some easy things. As for the primer, I think it is okay so far. It does leave a light kind of beige tint on my complexion. So if you were somebody that prefers like more of a clear, I would say go with the About Face. Otherwise, this is kind of, it's fine. It reminds me a lot of the Natasha Denona primer, so take that as you will, except for this is a little bit more liquidy than that product. But it's good. It works so far. It's worked really well with their shadows. I will of course be testing it with other shadows though, and then once again bring you guys back my final thoughts. Some other easy products to talk about are these cloud paint products. A lot of people were saying this is kind of a favorite product from this brand. They were hyping this lip product collection up, and I must say I think it definitely deserves that hype. It goes on as a creamy like liquid lipstick, but it dries down pretty matte and pretty much transfer proof, which is really nice, but it's super comfortable, so it doesn't really feel like I have anything on my lips. I wouldn't say my lips are dry or anything like that. It just feels like, you know, any other day. But I also don't feel any type of like, I don't know how to explain it. I don't feel any type of moisture, but I don't feel like it's dry like the Sahara. I think this is like the perfect kind of cream liquid lipstick formulation. And I really think that if you are somebody who likes a more blotted lip effect, you really could pull it off with this, even just not doing a lip liner and just kind of blotting it away. Although I just prefer lip liners. I've really gotten into them lately, so that's why I wear them. But I really like the two shades that I got, which is Skin Ship and Cloud Smoke. Like I said, the one that I have on today is Cloud Smoke, and I like them both. So yeah, take that as you will. The two cheek products that I picked up. So I did pick up one highlighter, like I said before, and this is in Space Age. Now I have had highlighters from this brand in the past, and I still have them in my collection. Very, very nice quality and formulation. They're just quite expensive, so I don't pick them up every so often. And I honestly don't buy from Kaledios all that much because the brand is just, they're expensive. Anyways, I think this is a really pretty highlighter. I would recommend a brush that doesn't pick up too much and also applies very softly. So the brush so far that I'm really liking this with is the Wayne Goss. I think this is his large cheek brush. Basically, any highlighter that I find this too light traditionally, or the way that I like for my face, I use that brush, and I find it diffuses into my face a lot better than maybe something that is going to pick up too much product. So that's why I enjoy it. So far I'm enjoying it. Is it going to be a love or favorite? Maybe not. Maybe if you truly are this skin tone, it will literally just look like it's lit within, but because it's clearly lighter than my skin tone, it looks a little bit much, at least in my opinion. I would love to hear you guys' opinions on all these products down below. The last cheek product that I went ahead and purchased was the blush. Like I said, I think it's in Sunburnt. I'm probably wrong again, but this is the shade, and I think that this looks better today than it did yesterday. Yesterday, I used a kind of fluffy cheek brush that I can and have used with certain blushes. Just depends on the blush and the formula. But today I decided to use a brush that is a lot more compact and can really push that product onto the area and the surface that I want it to be. And I find that today it just looks better overall. You can actually see the shade on my skin, and it also kind of just, it appears. I don't really know how to say what to say about it. So I definitely am enjoying this so far. Do I think I should have to kind of make these small tweaks for cheek products? No, because there are plenty in my collection that I don't have to do that. But because I did spend my money, I definitely want to try to find a way to get use out of these products. So that's what I'm going to say. And in the event that you are like me and you're interested in these products and you pick them up or you want to, now I hope having this information will help you. Okay, so two more kind of collections of products to talk about. So second to last, I'm going to go ahead and talk about the liners. I think that these are really good liners. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say I have tested these out for longevity wise, because I have been filming at night, so I don't get to wear them a long period of time, and I also haven't tried them in the waterline. Obviously, I will be trying them for longevity and also in the waterline before I round up a review on these, but so far I think they are really nice liners. They glide over my lid, which is a very hard thing to do with a liner like this in a pencil formulation, and they really look pretty. Now, depending on the amount of surface that you're applying them on, you're really not going to see that kind of duochrome, multichrome effect, but that's up to you kind of how you're going to use them and if you want to actually see that. I like the two shades that I've tried so far. I think they really work beautifully with the quads that I picked up, but I also just think I'm going to get a lot of use out of them because these will work with just general eyeshadows and things in my collection already. So very happy with this so far. I will be getting more thoughts and opinions though towards the end of hopefully next month, so I can review it for you all to say if I think it is a very good quality or if it's just good for one kind of usage. So happy with this so far. And then the last kind of collection of products that I want to talk about are the two eyeshadow quads. Now, I will just mention, because I don't think I talked about it before, on the back of the eyeshadow quads, they do differ. Whereas the first collection, there was no determining information to tell you that this was the Cold Brew palette. Whereas in this latest collection, there is now kind of a little label back there, which I do appreciate. And yeah, so I appreciate them. Both of these palettes give off a more neutral tone to them, but I find that they give a little bit more. Like, clearly this is all browns and that's pretty much what you're gonna get, but there's so much depth in this palette, and these matte shades are very, very misleading in the best possible way, at least for me. These really apply dark to your skin. So if you are somebody who is even darker than me, I think you'll be able to get use out of every last shadow in this palette, which I love. I love it so much. I love how these really darken and deepen and are just very willing to get a variety in it. Now, is this a palette that I would reach for every day during the day? Probably not, because quite honestly, it gets very, very dark very, very quickly. But I could see me reaching for this if I wanted a very dark, sultry, brownie eye to go out at night or something. So I am very much happy with this so far. And this is very indicative of the Kaledios formula, in my opinion. This is the formula out of all of these that I actually previously have already tried. I just haven't tried it in one of these quads. Then when you get to the more purpley neutral one that I picked up from their latest collection, I think that this looks really, really pretty. Yes, you can still see that it's purples, but it's like very, very muted purples, which I appreciate. I think it looks beautiful. I think once again, it's just continuing to allow me to be in this mindset where I'm using makeup to kind of enhance my beauty and maybe not necessarily overshadow it. Not saying there's anything wrong with it. I promise you guys, I'll probably go back to being crazy with all the blue and everything in a couple of months or so. But right now, I'm just really enjoying neutrals, and I find that this is the right amount of purple and the right amount of neutral for me right now. So I am loving both of these palettes. I actually find that maybe even these shimmers are some of my favorite shimmers that I've tried from the brand, because they are beautiful, sparkly, textured in this quad of just pretty much mattes otherwise. So really, really happy with these. Of course, like I said, I will be testing them out even more to give you guys my thoughts, but I just wanted to give you guys my bases based on, like, you know, I've actually tried this formula before, the others not so much. So yeah, that's pretty much it for today's video. I would definitely love to hear if there was one quad that you're really into, if the lip clouds are something you like, the eyeliners, the blushes, the highlighters, all of that. Let me know down below. I hope this video was helpful for anybody who was just interested in picking up something from their brand, or even one of these products from any of these collections that I kind of featured today. And yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye guys.